When you picture a medieval castle, you're probably thinking of towering walls, maybe a grand hall, swords clashing. But what if I told you the most surprising room wasn't the throne room or the dungeon, but the toilet? And here's the real question. Why was that very same toilet also the best place to store your most expensive clothes? I know, it sounds absolutely bizarre. A toilet and a closet all in one? All right, let's get into this, because it's a fascinating bit of history. So this room was called a garderobe, and that name is everything. It comes from Old French, garde des robes, which literally means protector of robes. Right there in the name, you've got the biggest clue to this whole strange story. Okay, so first things first, let's talk nuts and bolts. How was this thing actually built, and what was it really like to, use one every day? You might think they tucked the toilet away somewhere hidden, but nope. Most garderobes were just simple shafts built right into the castle's thick outer walls. They actually jutted out over the landscape so you could literally see them from the outside, a very practical and very visible part of the architecture. So, the question on everyone's mind, where did it all go? Well, forget about plumbing. The waste simply dropped down the shaft. A lot of the time, it fell straight into the castle's defensive moat. Yikes. Other times, it would just drop over a cliff or into a river. Or if none of those were an option, it would collect in a cesspit at the bottom of the wall. And on the inside, things were, let's say, pretty basic. We're talking about a simple stone or wooden bench with a hole cut into it, usually a rectangle or a keyhole shape. And as you can probably guess, privacy was not a huge concern. A lot of them didn't even have a door. So let's do a quick comparison. What they had, things like hay, grass, or moss for, well, They also usually had a small window for some ventilation. What they didn't have? Oh boy. No toilet paper, no flushing whatsoever, and yeah, very often, no real privacy. But all of this is building up to the most ingenious part of the story, the really clever, if kind of stinky, reason it was called a garderobe in the first place. This quote from BBC News just nails it. The name garderobe is thought to come from hanging your clothes in the toilet shaft, as the ammonia from the urine would kill the fleas. Yep, it was a medieval life hack, born out of pure necessity. So let's break down how this royal fumigation actually worked. It's really pretty simple. Step 1, waste builds up at the bottom. Step 2, all those pungent ammonia fumes naturally rise up the shaft. And step 3, the lord or lady hangs their expensive clothes and robes in there, and the fumes act like a natural pesticide, killing off moths, fleas, and other pests. I mean, talk about being resourceful. But it wasn't all clever life hacks and pest control. Oh no. The garderobe could be a seriously dangerous place and a major weak spot for any castle. The year is 1204. This is the year the legendary Chateau Gaillard in France, a supposedly unbreakable fortress, was captured. So how did the enemy soldiers get in? They found the one spot no one bothered to defend properly. They climbed right up the garderobe shaft. The castle's toilet turned out to be its biggest security flaw. And the danger wasn't just from invaders. Sometimes it was right underneath you. Medievalists.net tells this absolutely grim story. In 1326, Richard Le Roquier was doing his business on his toilet when the planks of the seat gave way. Richard fell into the cesspit and drowned. Just a truly awful way to go. So that's life for the nobility. But what about everyone else? What did you do if you didn't have a giant castle wall at your disposal? Well, for most commoners, the answer was public latrines, often called sedge houses. And a really popular design choice was to just build them right over a bridge, so everything could fall straight down into the river below. Simple, for sure, but not exactly hygienic. But what about these cesspits that weren't over a river? Somebody had to empty those, and that job fell to the gong farmer, which might just be one of the worst jobs in all of history. These poor guys were only allowed to work at night, and they were paid by the ton. Can you even imagine? So you can really see the two different worlds here. On one side, you have the Lord's garderobe. It's private, exclusive, part of the castle itself. And on the other, you have the public sedge house, open to anyone who could pay a fee, just sitting out over a bridge or quay. And getting from the garderobe to the modern bathroom we know today, well, that took a really long time. Garderobes were common in the 1100s, but it wasn't until 1596 that the first flushing toilet was invented, and it's totally flopped. Then, in 1775, we get the S-shaped pipe that traps odors, a huge innovation. But flush toilets didn't really take off until 1851, after they were shown off at the Great Exhibition. So, when you look back at it, what was the garderobe? Was it a piece of really clever engineering, a way to combine sanitation and pest control out of sheer resourcefulness? Or was it just a stinky, dangerous compromise they were forced to make? The truth is, it was probably both.